free throws for 60.
Hello, sports fans. We want to thank everyone for joining us for this special edition of SDR. It's with heavy hearts that we are doing this emergency edition of Sports Den Radio tonight, with the sudden passing of Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and 7 others. Kobe was not only a NBA and Laker legend, but he was also an international star and made his imprint around the world.
We are Sports Den Radio. We're a show for the fans, and a fan favorite across the world was lost. And Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and the 7 others were tragically killed in a helicopter accident. And to name the other victims, it's John, Carrie, and Alyssa Altobelli, Christina Mauser, Ara Zabayan, and Sarah and Peyton Chester. I'm Sammy Shear, and along with my co-host Ara Gordon, thanks again for joining us on this special edition of Sports Den Radio. We're going to begin our show with a 24-second moment of silence to honor the Mamba, his daughter, and the 7 other victims from the helicopter crash. Thank you. And what happened is unthinkable. This doesn't happen to superheroes. This doesn't happen to Iron Man. And as part of this process, I've personally just never felt so mortal, to put it bluntly. And this happens to Kobe Bryant. This can happen to me. This can happen to you. And we're all robbed of a post-NBA Kobe, which was shaping up to be as driven and focused as on-court Kobe. We already saw that Kobe was, a daughter daddy, a girl daddy, and poured everything into his little girls and was driving them towards greatness of their own. And we already saw that, Gigi had that nasty Kobe turnaround jumper already rocking, and it's just unspeakably sad. And after being sad for all of Sunday, all of Monday, and here we are recording today, it's almost like having a day of denial. We're watching all the tributes, all the posts, all the tweets, all the Instagram pictures, everything, and every time you look at it, it's, oh, well, there's Kobe right there. He can't be gone. No, there's Kobe again. He can't be gone. And it is one of the things that just doesn't make sense how it could possibly be this way.
It's very surreal. I would have to say that this show, making this show tonight, doing the show tonight, it's not easy. I was driving on Wilshire Boulevard, famous street here in LA, and the Metro bus, number 20 bus, was flashing number 20, and then flashing R.I.P. Kobe, and just back and forth. If you are in LA, you see it everywhere you go. Kobe forever. The city, I think, is feeling it in ways that might be a little bit different for the rest of the world, although the tributes that I've seen over the past few days have been heartbreaking and warming at the same time. It's hard sometimes to see a person like that, and then also the unspeakable of a daughter and other families who now do not have either their parents or siblings or wives. It's a very surreal moment, and yet you do see a type of mortality that does come to life again. The outpouring love in Los Angeles is very evident.
Extremely evident. And that everywhere. It's really interesting to have everybody feel the same way. I mean, Kobe wasn't someone else's. Kobe was ours. Speaking as an Angelino, he was one of us. He is as much Los Angeles as anything else is Los Angeles. With all 20 years being played in Los Angeles, I mean, it's hard to think. I mean, when you think of Los Angeles athletes, people think of Kobe Bryant. Across all sports, there's other superstars, but Kobe is Los Angeles, and we're less than 4 years removed from the magical final game of his career. Less than 4 years. We haven't yet reached his Hall of Fame ceremony. He had just won an Oscar. It is as open of a post-career future as anyone has had, and it was one that the entire world was looking forward to. It leaves you speechless every time you try to think about how it could possibly be this way.
Yeah, from his involvement in recent years in the WNBA, with his
bringing the girls there and getting
his daughter, bringing her to the game.
She was heading there.
UConn, right? She wanted to go to UConn, and then that was her next step.
You see the videos where she's already doing that little elbow check into Kobe and taking a back step and just draining one in his face, and the video from her actual one of her actual games with the travel team, which is where they were actually headed when the crash occurred, where she does the little turnaround jumper that Kobe is so famous for on the wing there, and you could just see at 13 she was already embodying that same Mamba mentality, that same spirit that drove him for 20 years. And it for the game of basketball, there will never be another Kobe Bryant. There will never be someone who is capable of putting themselves through what Kobe put himself through, both mentally, emotionally, and especially physically. People don't do that anymore. Every night was a Laker injury report of Kobe's latest injury, but it didn't matter because he was on the floor. He was on the floor with a torn Achilles, and that's just who does that? Why? Who does that? It just doesn't happen that way. And he was, in every sense of the word when I said it, an Iron Man. Like, even when he was down, he wasn't down. He was always going to get back up. And in between the three-peat and then the two-peat, 2009, 2010, safe to say there was down times. Kobe, he wanted to be traded at one point, and the team wasn't doing so great here and there, and then he rose up again, and brought 2 more championships back to LA. And then when he was really torn down and his Achilles took him out, and he didn't come back as the same player, but he still managed to retire with one of the single most insanely dope sports experiences I think I've ever witnessed. I'll never forget for the rest of my life where I was watching that final game, and especially that final quarter.
Oh yeah.
We'll talk in a little while about some of our favorite Kobe memories, but you can just see all across the league the last couple of days, just all the things that show how much Kobe meant to these players and to everyone. We can start with Trae Young. I know you're a fan of what happened with him the other night.
Yeah, remarkable stat. There were 8 games played on Sunday. 8, right? And Trae Young goes ahead and takes 24 shots, shoots for 81%. And the last person to get that type of percentage, to get 45 points with under 25 shots taken against the Wizards, I believe, Kobe Bryant.
So sick. And you talk about Trae putting up 24 shots. Devin Booker also put up 24 shots. And Trae Young and Devin Booker combined for 81 points. This stuff is just too crazy. And all the things that the players and the league was doing, with everyone doing the 8 and 24 second violations, people, and it's devastating for the players. This was not only like their idol growing up. This was a lot of their colleagues. They're like someone who like they competed against at a high level for years and years, and there's like no one who
20 years with the same organization. You know, I grew up rooting for the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan, but I was 2-3 years old when Jordan entered the league. Kobe, the whole time. I got to see him all 20 years, and I wasn't even a Lakers fan. There was something about this generation of basketball where basketball, the identity of basketball was changing, and it was essentially through Kobe. He brought a Mamba mentality. He changed the game. There's an amazing, a lot of people, you know, they always looked at Michael as a game changer, and it was a moment, and I guess we're kind of going into the Kobe moments here, where in Kobe's third year, he's an all-star, and that's Michael Jordan's last year in the NBA as a Wizard. And a very similar occurrence happened in another league with another great one, of Wayne Gretzky, where he enters the league in his rookie year and gets to share the all-star court, or ice, should I say, with Gordie Howe, who had returned for just that year by chance. And now they were on the ice together. And Gordie Howe might have just well been the Michael Jordan, and Kobe Bryant might have just well been the Wayne Gretzky.
Undeniable scorer, a lot of comparisons.
The outreach that's going on in LA for fans at the Staples Center, different markets, they're drawing murals all over downtown, and at the Lakers practice facility in El Segundo, the outreach from the LA community has just been, I mean, it really speaking about what the city is feeling and what they're going through.
You see it everywhere. Everyone is just limping around, devastated everywhere. Like, forget anything being talked about different on social media. I mean, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, I haven't seen anything at all recently besides anything about Kobe. And I mean, when I did see, I saw a political post earlier today or something, and I was like, who even cares about stuff like this right now? The entire world is focused on, you know, the death of, you know, of a titan, and something that you don't see ending anytime soon. I mean, who is going to be over this in the near future? When is someone going to be able to move on and talk about something else? This is the only thing that people can talk about right now. And you talk about something that's happened like this, and I've spent the last couple of days trying to figure something out. Like, if you talk about Princess Diana, Robin Williams, Michael Jackson, small comparison.
Aaliyah, maybe.
Yeah, Aaliyah, like Tupac, Biggie.
You know,
there's really been nothing that, I mean, I can't think of anything remotely on this magnitude. And maybe that's why it's, you know, it's a different experience for everybody, and it's okay to be sadder longer for losing a part of who we are as sports fans. I mean, like you said, when you see these murals, you see these pictures, you see all these tributes, there he is. There's the Mamba right there. So there he is. Since he's right there, staring right back at us, all over Los Angeles, and all these murals, and all these tributes, and all these pictures, all over all these hotels, how could he not actually still be here? And it's just the worst, depressing, sad to lose a hero, and, you know, an idol.
Yeah, you heard, we'll get into it a little bit later, but TNT had his special tonight, and Shaq mentions, I look around at all my basketball idols, and they're all old. They all grew older. You just I can't remember an occurrence of a sports figure, of an international star. Everyone, Bill Russell, Jerry West, they're all, Kareem, right? He's still with us. You just don't think something like this could happen. And I feel really fortunate that, I didn't grow up in LA, but I moved here a little under a decade ago, and I got to see him live in his last season.
Yeah, I went to one of the final games too. Great stuff.
And it was just unbelievable. I think he scored 12 points that game, but you could just feel it every time he was on the court. And I remember getting a snapshot of just him, just making a move under the basket, putting the ball behind his back, and he just didn't give up. It just didn't matter at any point. It didn't matter.
Season was too magical. I also went to one, and he had 9 points all in the first quarter, all in a 2-minute stretch, and it was electrifying to be back with that atmosphere. And you know what? For the sake of remembering the positive times, over dwelling over the sadness, because there were hundreds of amazing experiences, and I put together what I think is my personal top 5 things that are just vintage Kobe when I think about it. And I'll run through mine real quick, and we can see if maybe any of yours are that I'm missing here. When I did leave off the Portland alley-oop in the Western Conference Finals to send them to the NBA Finals there, because they were just, that's the one that everyone thinks about, but that one interestingly did not crack my top 5. And the ones that are in my just vintage top 5 Kobe moments: dropping 81, obviously incredible, transcendent. There's been a couple 70s since then. I know Devin Booker had one, and I know Dame got close. The 81 points, ridiculous. 2010 Game 7 versus Boston, shooting 6 of 24. Don't matter. Copped a second consecutive championship. So hyped and all. Oh, that was unbelievable. Jumping over a car. I don't know if y'all remember this video, but with Kobe with Ronnie Turiaf, show an actual video of the Mamba jumping over a flying Aston Martin. And this was incredible at the time, because it was one of those, did he really do it? Did he not really do it? And some nerds will pull out the video with, the shade maybe over here, so the Mamba did it, alright? The Mamba jumped over a damn Aston Martin, and all you nerds can take your hate elsewhere. And on another sweet Kobe moment, the Matt Barnes fake. We've all seen this video dozens, hundreds of times, where Kobe's in Matt Barnes' face right at the inbound. Matt Barnes looks right at the face, fakes the ball, throwing it right at his face, and Kobe just staring directly back at him like, who the hell do you think you are? Didn't even budge. Absolute genius. And wrapping it up, it's maybe even cliche to say this, but there was something special about watching Kobe's last game. I was with a great group of people. In the final seconds, as he's hitting those free throws to go to 59 and 60, we're literally standing there with arms around each other's shoulders, baffled, speechless about the performance that had just taken place. Lakers I just watched it when they re-aired it on ESPN, and I've watched it dozens of times, but you have to think, they were down by 10 points with 2 minutes left, just over 2 minutes left, and they won in regulation. And Kobe went from 45 to 60 points, lightning fast. And that was what he could do. And he could just turn it on and kill you. And that ruthless, cutthroat, angry competitor mentality is something that doesn't exist in the league right now. I mean, Russell Westbrook is the one that people say is the closest in that intensity, but Russell Westbrook's never won shit. I mean, I love Russ as a player, but he literally has never gotten it done at the higher level. Went to the finals the one year against Braun, but he hasn't gotten it done. Hasn't gotten close to getting it done. And
it's a different animal.
People are hurt and they get out. They take out. I mean, look at load management. I mean, it's a different game now. And Kobe, even all the players jumping around and being all crazy and excited. Like, there's the video of Kobe looking miserable while his teammates are freaking out around him when he was in the final year with D'Angelo Russell and Julius Randle jumping around and Kobe just staring like, I cannot believe that I have to waste the twilight years of my career with this squad. And there were just so many amazing moments, and they all feel like yesterday by someone in our family. It's just we're looking back fondly on a family member's greatest hits, and it's hard to not get choked up even while you're.
It's very true. I mean, my favorite moments very similar to yours. Again, not growing up in Los Angeles, I did have more of the global connection, I guess as people are calling it, and to an international star. For myself, the 81 points speaks out simply because, I mean, who does that? Who gets 80? Who gets 60? Let alone.
And he had like 28 or something like that at halftime in that game. 28, and then rattled off.
Totally went off.
55-point second half or something.
His final game, which was also, I mean, a couple of similar ones with the Matt Barnes, obviously, which is just phenomenal because just his face is just so.
I mean, if you're Matt Barnes, how do you come back from that?
Who are you? Right. Like, you must have taken that ball and been like, I want to find, is there a hole in the court that I can
how do you
myself in right
now?
now?
Just go for that and then just like, all right, well, that didn't work.
And his final game, I don't know if people remember, but he started off really poorly.
Oh, we remember. It was like 0 for 5 to start off.
Well, I remember we were sitting there, we were nervous. You're right, you're not sure how it's going to be. You remember the ticket prices that night and how high they were?
Whole season.
Oh yeah, how people were getting their money back too.
I mean, we spent a fortune to sit at the extreme top of the Staples Center, the game we went to. That was primo.
And then he comes back, and you can just see the excitement. I think it was not only within him when he was taking those shots, but also his teammates passing him the ball. Like, wanting to get him the ball is something that for me brought a lot of joy in that game as well.
And that's what he said in his speech. In his speech at the end of the game, he even said, he says, it was crazy this game because my whole career, everybody's been telling me to pass the ball, and tonight no one will take the ball from me. Everyone keeps trying to.
Everyone just keeps on giving me the ball.
You see that, and you see that story Mike Tirico shared about Gordon Hayward. Kobe had 58 points, and he was heading to the line for 2 free throws, and he sunk the first one, and then for the second free throw, right when Kobe was gearing up to shoot it, Gordon Hayward stepped over the line and had a free throw fall violation, and in that way, if Kobe had missed the free throw, he would have had a second chance at 60, and Gordon Hayward, an opposing player, did that. That was the report that came out from Mike Tirico, and there's video evidence to back it up.
Wow.
Gordon Hayward has since come out and refuted that is what happened in that circumstance, but, I mean, tape don't lie, bro. Things go viral now, so hard to tell what's true.
And just a final moment here that I really love about Kobe is actually, it's everything I've seen after basketball. There's something to say about someone who completely sees his life, and for whatever reason, whatever happened, in your past, there's something to say about a person who just completely, at least from the perspective of a fan, just did a 180 somehow with his approach to people, with his approach to his family, with his approach to work. Like, I remember at the beginning, people didn't know what was Kobe going to do next. And then detail kind of came out on ESPN, I remember, and slowly
Great stuff.
his imprint is being left everywhere, and you're not even noticing it. It's like coming subconsciously. It's like so natural almost. Of course, Kobe's involved in that now. And to me, that really spoke out the most. And I think that's also why it's very difficult. It's because it went beyond basketball. Like, he didn't go ahead and just decide, okay, am I going to go buy a team or... No, he went to go coach his daughter's basketball team and create the Mamba Foundation and the gym and everything that they're doing over there in that sports facility.
And you're right. And as, you know, a new father to a little girl, I picked her up the morning after, and I just was thinking about Gigi and Vanessa, and I can't even relate on any level to the pain that she must be feeling, and you think about the entire city feeling the exact same pain, and it's okay. I mean, I think that's what it is. I think it's okay that we're all feeling this way for someone we didn't know, and I think it's okay to feel loss that we don't really understand why we're feeling. And you know, it's an NBA player. It's a level that few of us are even able to even dream of being at. And
you can't comprehend that world,
and
the day-to-day of that world.
But it still feels like we were in it and we were part of it. And that's what he was able to do at the end of his career, and that's what he was going to be providing for, you know, his daughter and for her team, and what looked like tons of brilliant young women everywhere. And you know, we keep seeing that clip with him and Jimmy Kimmel where, you know, he says that someone keeps coming up to him and saying, "Yo, Kobe, you and V, you know, you gotta have a boy, you gotta have someone carry on the legacy." And Gianna's sitting there right with him, just saying, I got this. And that's the absolute coolest shit in the entire world. And you know, I almost wish for that reason that Lakers and Clippers was played on Tuesday night. I do wish that it was played, but I have zero problems and qualms with what happened there. Zero. I mean, you saw what the non-Lakers players looked like getting ready for the game. Tyson Chandler not even able to function. Kyrie and CP3 left their respective arenas. How could the Lakers possibly play? I mean, there just was no way that was going to happen.
The organization is hurting. The fans are hurting. The players are hurting. Could definitely understand the decision. And I think what I appreciated the most tonight was, even before the slot time that the Laker-Clipper game was supposed to go, they decided that before the Boston-Miami Heat game they were going to do a tribute, and they carried that tribute through halftime, and then in the post-game they brought some, from what I understand, it's basically the brotherhood of the NBA, some really notable people within the organization, including Jerry West, Fisher, Dwayne Wade, Steve Nash, I think, also showed up. And I just hope that, because the LA community couldn't necessarily come together in the form of a game tonight, that I hope that the LA community, and outside of the LA community, but specifically the LA community, saw that tribute and felt like they were a part of that, and the stories and the emotions that was left by Shaq and others, that they were able to grieve with them a little bit as part of one family, because I do believe that the LA fans are hurting, and it's evident by their just the natural call to go to the Staples Center. People have been doing that since Sunday. They're doing it tonight. They're shouting Kobe in the streets in the middle of the night.
I hope they never stop.
I hope they never stop.
Every time you throw that something in the trash can, which
Kobe.
you just gotta say it.
And I grew up a Bulls fan with Michael Jordan. I yell out Kobe. I don't say Jordan. I yell out Kobe. I've been doing it for years. He's like, for whatever reason, if you're a sports fan, I don't even think you have to be such a big NBA fan. This was so global. It is surreal. My wife had a favorite memory that she actually got to meet him while she was studying in Boston during one of the finals against Boston.
Wow.
And he came up to her and he goes, "Hey, I'm Kobe." And she, of course, I know who you are. But that speaks to the character. I'll introduce myself like I'm any other person.
And that's part of it. He ultimately ends up being another person. He ends up being someone that we can all aspire to be, and there's so many brilliant features about him that are just model worthy. The Mamba mentality, that drive and success to just be great. I mean, in his post NBA career, all he wanted to do was meet filmers and directors and producers and everyone that he met, and chefs and everyone that he met. He wanted to know why they were great, what made them great.
He wanted to learn from them.
He
spoke Italian. He tried to learn other languages just whenever he could.
He spoke multiple languages actually, and the other night you saw that when Luka Doncic was hanging on the sideline there, he whips his head around because he heard someone talking shit in Slovenian, and Kobe had looked up and learned some Slovenian just to go to a game and talk shit to Luka Doncic. If that isn't the absolute coolest post Kobe thing, and you really just have to hug your family, hug your friends, and hug your fellow sports fans who are seeing what the rest of the world is seeing, with how many people just loved and adored and idolized Kobe. You walk around and you just see everyone picking each other up, wearing their Kobe jerseys. I'm in the Kobe 24 right now. You're in the Lakers shirt.
We got some Kobe bobbleheads and
we're surrounded in
little jersey
Kobe
behind us as well.
And this is where we're going to be staying for a while, in this post-Kobe world that we all try to learn to live in again.
It will be a little bit of a different season. I think it's going to mean a little bit differently now, obviously, for Laker Nation.
And you saw LeBron's Instagram post putting the team on his back and saying he's going to do it for Kobe and he's going to be the one to do all this. And as a sports fan, I'm not expecting LeBron to do anything superhuman to try to handle this, but there would be something certainly magical if the Lakers end up getting it done this year. And I know that for the rest of the season, Lakers basketball and NBA playoffs is going to be must-see TV, and I plan on watching it. I know
the All-Star game will also be a very nice tribute as well. Different ideas of one team wearing 8, another team wearing 24. I think it speaks a lot to the Mamba mentality for all players, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for all those players that played on Sunday.
I don't know how they did that.
And played, and then Monday,
and the Lakers got to be off.
And it's very understandable. Everyone's human. LeBron spent the time with his family. I think at his son's basketball game. They're very close family members. And everyone. I mean, they're all boys, right? Shaq had a really tough time tonight, but towards the end, you can see that there was a release there by being able to share those memories and share the emotions. And so I would just suggest that everyone do the same. Share your memories, share the emotions. It's okay. It's good. These stories need to be told. When you see them on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, it hurts, but there's comfort at the same time because there's valuable lessons to be learned. And there's so many, like I said, one of the greatest moments, my memories of Kobe is post-basketball, because there's so many phenomenal interviews that he gave under the radar that if you just listen to even one of them, you would get so inspired by his approach to life, his approach to his work, his approach to his family. And Kobe, you will absolutely be missed in this city and in the world.
And there's nothing really left for us over at Sports In Radio here to say except Mamba out. I'm Sammy Sheeran along with co-host Art Gordon. Thanks so much for joining us and listening.
Will get a chance to take the lead, and look who has the ball. With half a minute to play, Bryant for the lead. Yes! Kobe Bryant gives the Lakers the lead.
Oh, I tell you something. This is, he was legendary before this game. This takes it to an absolute another level.